Hi Tubies, this is Nicolette, the traditional Catholic mom, and I wanted to do a video about an upcoming feast for Catholics, and that feast would be February 2nd, the Feast of the Purification of the Blessed Virgin Mary, otherwise known as Candlemas. And for us, it is 40 days after Christmas, after the birth of Christ, which would be the day that um, women would traditionally go down to the temple to offer a sacrifice for their purification. So, hence the first title of the feast. And when the Blessed Virgin Mary was on the temple grounds, she met Saint Simeon and the prophetess Anna. And Saint Simeon and the prophetess Anna both foresaw things. And one of the things that Saint Simeon mentioned was how Christ was to be the light to the Gentiles. And that's where candles come in. Candlemas. Uh, we take our candles down for the year to the church on this day, and we have them blessed. If you get there before Mass, give them to your priest before he's getting vested, and ask him to have them blessed. You can talk to your priest, before, but we've made the mistake of not talking to our priest and not having our candles blessed because he was already up at the altar, but we weren't sure how it was done the first year that we did it. But talk to your priest beforehand, let him know that you've got candles that you'd like to have blessed, and just make sure your candles get down to the church before the Mass starts. And in our experience, the Masses are usually held in the evening, and there are candlelit processions, and it's a very beautiful tradition. So candles are a very important Catholic symbol. Candles or light in this context is important to a lot of people, to the Jewish people, to a lot of people. So the symbolism behind a beeswax taper, that's what this is, made of 100% beeswax. It is something that you're going to find in Eastern churches or Orthodox churches. These churches still use 100% beeswax candles in their liturgies and in their home devotions. While in the Western Church we don't use 100% beeswax anymore, but I believe to be used in the liturgy, they do have to be 51% beeswax. And there's a reason for that. The symbolism of 100% beeswax. And I believe I'm about to describe St. Anselm, who was the Archbishop of Canterbury, and what he said about a beeswax candle. The wax is made by the fruit of the bees, and it's seen as virginal, pure. And that would, in this case, is representing the flesh of Christ, the purity of Christ. And the wick, which runs throughout the candle, is seen as his soul. And when lit, the flame is seen as his divinity. Another way of looking at candles as a Catholic is that the flame is representing Christ, who is the light of the world. And another way to keep that at the forefront of your mind is anytime you're lighting a candle, when you're lighting the candle, say out loud or under your breath, Christ is the light of the world, a light which never knows darkness. And that's a great way to keep that symbol at the forefront of your mind and to keep Christ at the forefront of your mind. I've read that you can do it when you're flipping a light switch too. I don't know about you, but I certainly flip a switch faster than I light a candle, so I never think about it. But when we light candles, that's something that we say in our home. It doesn't matter what we're lighting the candle for. If we're lighting them for company to come over, we go through that and we say that. So anyway, there are a lot of other traditions that are held on Candlemas besides taking your candles down to the church. And depending on your cultural background, where your family's from, everyone's traditions are going to vary. But some of the ones that we've done for the last 5 years would be eating crepes for dinner. And this is very big in France. And we eat crepes for dinner, and then we make crepe Suzette and stuffed crepes. We usually invite company friends over, and we know a gentleman who lived in France, and he said a tradition in his area is to take a gold coin, in our case a Sacagawea dollar, and while you're flipping your crepe with one hand, it's kind of tricky, you flip the gold coin with the other. And if you can do them both at the same time, then you've got good luck for the year. So with our company over, we all take turns flipping the crepes and cheering people on, and it's a lot of fun. Another thing that we do is we make a cookie. I've got a recipe book from France, and one of the regions it covers was Marseille, and they have a cute little boat-shaped cookie, and I can't remember the symbolism behind it, but it's a fun cookie to make, and I can provide a link to some information in the sidebar. Um, those cookies, they take a while, they take planning, they have to rise, but they're flavored with orange water, and they're very dense cookies, very filling and lightly sweet. They're not overly sweet. It's really nice. So those are two of the traditions that we do on Candlemas, and the other one would be taking down what's left of our Christmas decorations. Um, this marks the end of the Christmas season for us. So many people have taken their Christmas decorations down already, but we do keep ours up until Candlemas. And that's mostly because we don't put up our Christmas decorations until Christmas Eve. Advent is a time of penance. It's considered a mini Lent. Many people take on, um, you know, acts of sacrifice and such through Lent. Some people will give up smoking, give up drinking. Well, people do the same thing during Advent. So it doesn't make much sense to put your Christmas decorations up, which are very festive, during a season of penance. So we usually just put ours up after Advent, or most typically just on Christmas Eve. And as you can see, we've still got our Christmas up here. And all of this comes down at Candlemas. So I think it's the English poet Robert Herrick that has a poem called Ceremony Upon a Candlemas Eve. And you can Google that. It goes along the lines of down with the rosemary and so, down with the bay and mistletoe, down with the holly, ivy all, with where ye dress the Christmas hall. It's bigger than that, but that just kind of shows you some of the old English tradition there. Also, Candlemas. The last thing I want to cover about it is that it's Groundhog's Day, and here in the U.S. we're waiting for the groundhog to come out and see a shadow. And I can't really remember how it goes. If he sees a shadow, winter's longer, or it's not. I'm not sure. But I believe that's a German-based tradition, and there are some Candlemas-related rhymes that go along the same context as the groundhog. If Candlemas is mild and pure, winter will be long for sure. When it storms and snows on Candlemas, spring is not far away. If it's bright and clear, spring is not yet near. Um, you know, that's some of the ways to do the little folktale um, weather forecasting, I suppose. And I wanted to introduce you guys to the idea, if you're interested in a lot of Catholic traditions, be on the lookout for books like this. The Feast Day Cookbook. This book was originally printed in the 50s. It's in reprint right now. You can find it on Amazon. New, it runs like $10 or $11, and it's worth your money. You can probably find it used too. But this book is fantastic. It's got a lot of European traditions, mostly English, which is a former Episcopalian. I'm familiar with a lot of what they have in here. Another website of great reference, you guys, is fisheaters.com. They've the whys and hows of being Catholic and of traditionalism. They've got Vox, the site owner, has so much information, and it's worth your time to check out. Um, I really recommend going through it and checking out some of the stuff. So, anyway, that wraps it up. So, take your candles, go get them blessed at Candlemas, light lots of candles with dinner, and flip some crepes. So, if you've got some other holiday traditions that your family celebrates on Candlemas, please share. I'd love to hear what you do, and God bless.